It is called Godzilla, and the Nissan GT-R, well, probably that's really true. And we're going to find out about with this facelift here in an agility drive part, everyday driving part, and also the full speed Autobahn ride, 250 kilometers an hour and over 150 miles an hour. This will be all today on Autogefühl, together with exterior and interior assessment, here at your #1 resource for in-depth car reviews and your #1 community to discuss cars with Thomas. And everything of that will be in full HD, full screen and full length. Let's go! Let's go, guys. Before everything else, before the real driving part with city impression and the high-speed Autobahn, just enjoyment and agility special with this car here up the hill. Let's go. Always interesting to see some people watching at the counter. What is that? So I go here, very light steering wheel, but great agility and handling. Oh wow, motorbike, a special old one. Let's take further, DCT, dual clutch. Great grip, incredible. Nice. The very current model of the Nissan GT-R already exists since 2007, so it's a relatively old car, but it still has a lot of power, I can promise you. And this one here, the recent facelift of the GT-R with some minor changes, especially interior, infotainment and stuff. We will also ride it. It's said it's also more comfortable. We will find out more about that later. Here, starting with the exterior, so aggressive, so low, strong bumper. This one is the very basis version of the Nissan GT-R, costs about 100,000 euros or dollars as well. And I would love it when we show you the basis versions of the car. Of course, here so much is included already. Just the paint, it's called Gun Metallic. This one is the only option for about 1,000 euros. Everything else is really standard, and I really like to show you that. How do you think? What do you think about the design from the Nissan GT-R in the front? 4.71 m or 15'4" is the total length of the Nissan GT-R, and well, it's really so low, this car, and of course it has to be. Also the wind flow comes in the wheel arches and then it's exhaled right there to have good aerodynamics. 20-inch rims we have here in black. The 20-inch are also standard. Very strong also with the lower bumper. And then we got one design line right here. The door handles are pretty strange. I'll show you that in the interior view, then a little coupe style, and so strong shoulders. Contrasting brake calipers we find here as well. And then it's all going to this huge rear wing here, which is fixed and also has some effect when you're riding at night. I will tell you more about that when we ride the car. And here at the rear you see that this car is pretty much old school. Round taillights, hardly any other modern car has this nowadays. It is still rather timeless, and those round taillights here fit to those huge exhaust pipes. Well, the very outer part is just a cover. The rear exhaust is a little bit slimmer, definitely, but way slimmer. 4 pipes, so massive this rear, and yeah, I mean, you need the drag also, and this car is all about the grip, and the secret is really, first of all, the all-wheel drive for this huge acceleration, and also that a lot of parts and from transmission and stuff are really put in the back, that you have the weight of the engine in the front and everything as much as possible, also then everything else from the parts in the rear, that you can get the power there on the ground. This is really the secret, and we will experience it. I can tell you, it's totally insane on the motorway, especially with launch control. Look forward to that. A typical Nissan car key, just that you have the GTR logo. Would be nice if we would have a totally different car key for a 100,000 euro car. Here this is the keyless entry button you can press, and then it's really strange here, those door handles, something really unique. And the same is also for the handles on the inside. This is how you open the door then from the inside. Pretty strange, yeah. And then the interior is really interesting in general, because it's not Nissan at all. You would also, you know, is it really Nissan? No, not really. So, and this is a big difference here in the Nissan GTR. It doesn't have so many genes with the rest of the brand models, but of course it's also way different from the price. Standard seats come with microfiber on the inside, that's great. It's also a very nice structure. Unfortunately, they use animal skin on the outside. That's unnecessary. It could have been a leather red. But just stay with those basic seats. They will have the best comfort and also half sustainable material. That's a good job generally. Seat heating is right here, and all from standard equipment. You can put the seat upper and lower right there. And interesting solution here to do the rest of the seating functions here. Also for everything, flipping the rear part. I mean, it's why not? Also going front and back. It's a nice solution, something different than we see, and same with the door handles. They have different solutions here indeed. Let's get inside. And it is a low-sitting sports car, yes, but it's okay to get in and out. And indeed, the first impression is from the outside, it looks so massive, spectacular, but from the inside, it's pretty okay to sit in here. The seats, they offer good side support, but to me they're a little bit slim. I would prefer if you can change the side bolsters. That would be great, but I haven't found anything for that. So it should be better when they're a little bit wider indeed. Then again, as for the height, I'm 1.86 m or 6'1", and got some more headroom left, so 190 or 6'2" would be the maximum you can sit in here. And the steering column or steering wheel adjustment is unique. You know it maybe from other Nissan models. It's connected here to the dashboard unit. Therefore, we strangely have also 2 levers. One just to control the height, and you see how the whole unit moves with the steering wheel. Pretty strange. And then the second lever is then to adjust it in the other direction. Compact steering wheel, very sporty, big GTR badge right there, and it's a little bit unique as well how the steering feels, but we will talk more about that one when we drive the car. Nice are also those side vents here. They have a good design, very sporty, technical one. They also feel good from the build quality. And the 3D logo we found in the steering wheel, we also have at the floor mats, so another emotional element. And in the lower left, next to the steering wheel, you can have this special case for the key. I'm not sure if I would put it here, but well, maybe if there's nothing around the key, then it does maybe make sense. Cockpit overview. You see here a horizontal layout. I guess it is leather red because on dashboards and inside of doors, almost every manufacturer uses leather red. I'm not exactly sure. However, I've tried to search it. There's no info about that. Then there's a new infotainment unit, 8-inch, so quite big screen here now. Soon more details to that. Then this steering and instrument is one detailed element. I'll show you more of the instruments later on. What is a little bit strange, the automatic gear shifting lever of the dual clutch transmission goes in this stairs or steps form, and this is a little bit complicated and a little bit outdated. Also the climate unit stuff, for example, has nice clicking sounds, and that again proves the point, is really a solid build quality. Some elements are really good. It's not exactly catching up to a build quality of of a Lexus or the German premium manufacturers, even the high coast intensive sports cars. But it's totally different than any other Nissan, so really way better as for the build quality. This Bose 11 speaker sound system is inbuilt here, by the way, with quite good clear sound, and we also have some massive subwoofer in the rear there. And there you can see the subwoofer and well also the rear bench here, but it's just for emergency purposes or ISOFIX. You can fix child seats in here, and well, everything other than a child cannot really sit here. Seat won't really fit. Well, you could move this seat forward, but yeah, not really something for adults. Instruments, big RPM meter in the middle one. Then the right upper part is for the gears, which gear you have in at the moment. And the small digital screen, there you can have, for example, the digital speed. Middle armrest, it's solidly attached to USB ports, also the 12-volt DC. But it should be a little bit more forward, or could, that you can slide, but then it doesn't fit you with the manual handbrake, because here my arm is like falling down, so not really well usable, this armrest. Beverage holders for two different sizes, but not adaptive, with some holders. Then you can control the infotainment screen right here, like zoom in and out the map, or control inside the menu and have the hotkeys here. But also via touch is also possible. This car accelerates like a rocket or like an airplane, and this is that's called airplane control center. So starting here, and you can always go down or up, though that's both possible. And I can also start the engine, that you can also see the buttons. Sometimes the suspension, the transmission sounds a little bit weird in this car, I have to say. Here, going to save, this is smooth shifting for winter times and stuff. Normal, or if you hold it, push it up, this is the R shifting, a sporty shifting mechanism that really pushes you. And together, if you put the ESC on R, this is the setup, then you can do the launch control. Please do not do that on public roads. And also, most of the times, just keep the ESC in, it's safer, and it's all-wheel drive car anyway, and never put the ESC off, just for safety, please. Then comfortable suspension, if you go lower, then this comfy mode, better comfort than normal mode, or the R, then you have a little bit stiffer suspension. And then climate unit, you can turn it on like like this, and really interesting and good climate vents we have here with a good clicking sound. So it's overall a nice solution. Ooh, nice visualization from the infotainment screen. But other than that, the software, I mean, although we recently had a facelift, looks a little bit outdated. You can zoom in and out, for example, with the central MMI key. But other than that, you see how laggy it is, so can't do so much. Well, the GPS directioning does work. That's no problem. And also you can have a hotkey to put it darker, or it also has this auto mode that it gets darker in the night, so it's fine. Main menu looks like this. You also have the Bluetooth connection to your phone that can be easily done. So overall does the job basically, but it's nothing really special. What is special is this one here. You have a special motorsports view for turbo pressure of the turbo. Then the engine oil temperature, really good to have this one, that you only hammer the engine when, for example, it has, when it has 70 degrees, then you know everything is going in the right direction. You don't damage the car too much. You really have to search for the button to open the trunk. There we go. And there's an extremely high loading sill here, so it's like a hole. But then if you have reached this hole here, I mean, it's not too small. So for a true sports car, you can put some bags in there, sure. So, what does Godzilla have here under the hood? It's a 3.8 liter V6. See a nice engine layout with a 6-cylinder, 2 turbos you can see, and acceleration figure 2.7 seconds, 0 to 100 kilometers or 62 miles an hour, and wow, that's can hardly be matched by anything else. And the Nismo version there is 2.5 seconds, but also 180,000 euros, so way more expensive. The basis version really does the job, and it's already more than enough, from the speed. And all-wheel drive either can be to 50-50 or also 100% in the rear. It differs then. And the horsepower difference is 570 for the basis version and 600 for the Nismo version. Let's go with the driving. That's a Nissan GTR. And in this driving part, we'll start with a short Autobahn ride. Then we show you some city driving, everyday driving life of this car, and then we will really hammer the throttle, unlimited Autobahn speed stuff. So let's start here with some acceleration from 70. Yeah, I mean, it's of course loud, but not that extremely loud. And the sound of the engine, especially when you're sitting on the inside, you hear the turbos. Like, it's not a real low frequency sonorous sound from a, say, big naturally aspirated V8. And this one, for example, I experienced in the Lexus RCF, which indeed really reminds me of this car. And in general, from the seating position, from the layout a little bit, and size. So that is one of the points I proved earlier. This car does not feel like a Nissan at all. When you're riding in an Audi A3 or in an Audi R8, it's still an Audi. You feel some similarities, but here you don't feel any similarity with any Nissan car. And you can rather really compare it with riding a Lexus, and especially in RCF to me, that is. So very interesting. Here already in the motorway you see, well, the car is really stable on the road, of course, sporty suspension and stuff, but the steering wheel is feels dead. It feels like, having like Arcade steering wheel connected to a computer. So that's a little bit strange. It doesn't feel that sporty. I mean, you see that there are immediate reactions to steering commands. That's out of question. But again, you don't have the best feeling. You can control the car very well, that's for sure. And already yesterday I've driven some Autobahn part with unlimited speed, and I mean, if you don't look at the speedometer, you're at 220 in no time. You don't really realize it, but that one will come very soon. So starting with some everyday riding life features, because you will also do that with the car. The view to the rear is a little bit limited due to the rear wing, and when driving at night, it's a little bit irritating. The rear wing is really massive then, and sometimes you see the lights of the cars behind you below, above it, below, above it, below, above it, and you always say, oh, someone is blinding me from the rear, but it's just that it's blocked by your rear wing, and that is a little bit irritating indeed. Here also at lower speeds, you see the steering wheel is, you can almost do it like this, so light. So again, for a sporty car, I would expect a little bit more resistance, or maybe a better progressive character from this one. Shifting pedals we will also use later, again being on the motorway. You can go back and forth with them. And you have also probably seen here we have this performance display where we see the bar pressure of the turbo, motor oil temperature, and that's really good to see the oil temperature, because then you know when it's hot enough, then you can really hammer the engine without damaging it. It's always good if you want to keep your car longer, that you go smoothly for it. And then only when you reach higher temperatures you can really go for it, and all the fluids have the optimum working temperature. So you see, and maybe also here on camera, the suspension is basically rough, but it's not as rough as the car looks. Therefore, I would also recommend you to keep the basis version and not go for the Nismo version, for example. I would expect it to be even rougher, but you can actually drive this car every day. That would really work, and I was surprised by that. I wouldn't have imagined that. Especially here in the Facelift, we've worked on the suspension, and you can even set the suspension to comfort. So pressing this button in lower part down, then you feel it's getting a little bit softer, and for your everyday riding, this is really good. Of course, it's still a pure sports car, no question, but you can live with it. So that would work. And then pressing the button up is the air, and then it's really like this makes a difference. You can hear it, maybe also see it at me in my head, like boop, boop, boop. This is rather for the racetrack. Even at higher speeds you don't really need it. The suspension is stiff enough in the normal mode, so I would recommend you everyday riding just keeping it in a comfort mode, and then maybe go for the normal mode if you want to ride a little bit faster. That will just do fine. Side mirrors are not that huge, but again it has to have good wind flow. That is always important. And soon we'll also get to the motorway again to hammer the car a little bit more. Here again the agility handling is really great. It's like a piece of wood on the road you can turn. So even though the steering wheel is so light and doesn't have so much feeling, it's really probably more like in a video game. And I mean, this car has also been in a lot of popular video games, so people might know it from there. And yeah, it really feels like driving a car in a video game, and that's of course then also a lot of fun. Then you can also go in different shifting modes, by the way. There's a mode safe, I've shown you earlier all of these commands. And for example, when you have snow or rain and stuff, and then the car shifts down and up, you can also induce that a little bit. Yeah, that's some AMG tuned whatever. Yeah. When he has to drive 120 when it's 70 allowed. he shall do it and get caught by the next police. We can meet soon again at the unlimited speed and see who's the winner here. I know it already now, but he probably doesn't. Because this car really, you can hardly beat this car in acceleration, and you will soon see why that is. So here also lane change. I mean, every lane change is a lot of fun with this car. So great. So great, guys. So great. Yeah, when you're in the safe mode and then shift, for example, let's shift down here, for example, third gear, and then go to the automatic mode again. And then the automatic is shifting. It's rather smoothly done. Goes up, in manual, for example, then you can keep the gear if you have it in manual. If you want to go automatic again, hold the right, then it goes to A again. And you won't really realize that the car has shifted. In the normal mode, it can be a little bit more aggressive. And then in the R mode, so when we shift then, so let's go back and then go to the automatic again, and then you get a kick in. So it's a sportier shifting process. So no matter, it's about what you prefer. And of course, if there are slippery conditions, then it's better when the shifting is smooth, so you don't lose the grip then. When it's dry like today, and you can just easily get it done with the hard shifting momentum. That's no problem. And then, well, I wouldn't turn off the ESC. We would just turn the ESC to the R mode when we use the launch control very soon, because only then it works if you have there's the shifting and the ESC on R mode both, then the launch control does work. Other than that, I mean, it's all-wheel drive anyway, so you have a lot of grip, and that's really the secret of the GTR. Wow, so at 100 kilometers now, it really feels as if it would be nothing. It's so boring to drive this car with 100 kilometers an hour, but it's not that silent. They have worked on the sound insulation, so yeah, active noise cancellation, wind insulation, windshield, blah blah blah, but no, it's not really working. The car is relatively loud as for wind noises. Maybe you also hear it on camera. We can also set a cruise control. That's also possible. For example, here now at 100, and RPMs a little bit above 2000 when driving 100. It's a little slightly uphill, and you see also the little digital speedometer there in the middle part. So overall, yeah, I mean, surprise is that the car is rideable in everyday driving life. Not too uncomfortable at all, so that's really fine. That's okay. The seats on long-term run, I mean, they're of course more comfortable cars, yes, for sure, and a little bit tight if you are not a very, very tiny person here at the sides. I've told you that earlier, but other than that, why not? So we're getting closer to our unlimited speed part. Now you're all looking forward to that. Then we can really test what this car is capable of. Everything other we almost handled here now. Well, consumption, you can, if you drive really, steady. Here, 15.6. Yeah, that's, if you don't play around with the car, I mean, wow, that's super huge consumption. And I mean, if you do some accelerating stuff, then it will even go up. And that's probably, along with some Bentley cars or so, probably one of the Rolls Royce, probably one of the most fuel consuming cars ever we've driven. And I mean, there are also sports cars that consume way less fuel. It is all-wheel drive, by the way, and that will now play a massive effect. It can be 100% to the rear, but it can also go 50-50 front rear, and that will probably also happen, so something about that, with the launch control. That's really interesting, and they have put all, as much weight, transmission and stuff to the rear of the car to get weight also down to the rear of the car. So that's a very important fact. We got some views. So, when you're hitting the brakes in the normal mode and then press the throttle, it does go like 2 2000 RPMs, like bop, 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 doesn't go further. Now I have to push up the ESC to R and also the shifting to R. And then you will soon see when I hit the brakes and then hit the throttle, someone is behind us, when I hit the brakes and then hit the throttle, that the RPMs will go up way further. So this is the basic difference then, that you can reach it with the launch control, so that the RPMs can really go up. So you will notice it in the RPM meter, and that is what the launch control does. You are allowed to preload the RPMs, and then it's controlling the fastest launch. Let's go, guys. Okay, that's 250. What the hell? That happened. Okay, Michelle is also pretty impressed. What was that? I mean, we have experienced a lot of car accelerations. And so far we said that the most extreme acceleration would be the one from the Tesla Model S in the ludicrous mode, because you don't hear an engine sound and you're not really prepared. It's also about something 3 seconds. And we had the one in the 911 Turbo S with the launch control. But this year we really have to, scroll back and check the seconds. What was 0 to 100 and 0 to 200. But I mean, we've tested this Autobahn party a couple of times, and sometimes, or with a lot of cars, even good performance cars, at the point where I reached 200 with this car, we reached 100 with the other sports cars. So this was absolutely insane. And I mean, I'm already used to being like pushed into the seats, and especially when you have an all-wheel drive car, it's usually a very harmonic acceleration. And I mean, it was harmonic in the sense that we had not so much wheel spin or so. So that's again due to the all-wheel drive and the secret of grip we have here in the Nissan GT-R. But we were pushed in the seats like, some giants were in front of us, pushing our chest backward to the seat. There was some massive stuff. Yeah, and probably that's that's why people call it Godzilla. And the question was, why would you pay 100,000 euros for a Nissan and not go for any other car? Probably you just got your answer. Damn it. We'll go back in the way and have some more acceleration. I mean, not from 0, but going a little bit faster. But what the hell? So yeah, I think this would probably the fastest car we've ever driven in acceleration. I mean, this car even outscores the McLarens, for example, we've driven, or any other Porsche we've driven. So, and that's really amazing. I mean, also in an acceleration duel. And if you haven't heard it so far, everyone's like, of course a Porsche or McLaren wins or something like that. But then, Nissan GT-R comes and outscores them all in acceleration. That's, again, well, see, the U-turn is okay, but, the turning circle is quite wide. Have to be aware of that. Wow. So that was from 0, and soon we will do another, like from 90, 100 or so. We'll see what is still in the car when it's already rolling pretty fast. Yeah, definitely pretty insane, this car. That's for sure. Whoa. Yeah, so engine oil temperature has risen already. No wonder. So what do you think? Tell me your take on this car here in the comments. I mean, again, no one really needs it, but if you want the ultimate sports car experience in the acceleration, this is probably it. I mean, again, I said some other elements like the handling, steering stuff, insulation, blah blah blah. A lot of different other cars which are better in different disciplines, but especially the 0 to 100 acceleration, this is really without any real match here. Such a good grip the car got on the ground. You really felt that all of the power went to the road. 570 horsepower. Well, 2.7 seconds was the official figure. What did we score? We have to check that. Oh, really amazed. Check it out, guys. And now 92. Let's see how this performs again. Let's go. That was 200 again. Wow. Just from the fourth gear, driving 100 in fourth gear, and it's just going like nothing happens. It's like just like this. And again, when driving so fast now, you see that the wind noises are getting very loud. But the car itself feels totally easy to handle. Even at 190, I could do a lane change here now, and it really feels like nothing. So just the wind noises remind you of how fast you are really driving. Everything else just tells you, like the suspension is behaving, how calm and stable the car is. It would be telling your body you're driving like 100 something, but no, you're not. So really always check your speedometer that you don't exaggerate what you're doing actually. So, whew. Not bad, man. Not bad. And now to our conclusion, Nissan GT-R. Well, what a ride. It's truly Godzilla, and I've never experienced such an acceleration. I mean, in the Tesla Model S in the ludicrous mode, it's really crazy, especially because you don't hear an engine sound. Launch control with a Porsche 911 Turbo S is also, but this one here, the way you get pushed in the seats, that's really something very amazing. I mean, there's a lot of talk about this car. On the one hand, you can say, why would you give 100,000 euros for a Nissan? Then, also a big finding is, this car does not have anything to do with another Nissan model at all. If you would put another brand in front of it, everyone, wouldn't really notice it's a Nissan. So it rather comes close to very sporty Lexus models. Not maybe exactly as good as in the, interior build quality, but it comes to me, let's say, close to the Lexus RCF, as I said initially. However, the RCF to me, a little bit more harmonic than, also with the V8 natural aspirated engine. I'm disappointed with the sound of this bi-turbo V6. It's a little bit like turbo-like sound, so not too positive about that. But overall, I mean, that the grip the car has is really amazing. Steering could be a little bit sportier. It feels a little bit arcade-like, a little bit more in a racing game. Interior is, I mean, for Nissan, totally unmatched, really good. But of course, it's also a little bit outdated and has some minor weak points. And I mean, the exterior is as aggressive as someone who buys this car would definitely expect it. Of course, in general, it's rather an old car, but they don't sell too much of those. So the question is really, would they want to invest the money to go for an all-new generation? That could still take some more time. Overall, I mean, really an amazing car for sure. A lot of different elements about it. I want to hear your opinion, definitely. You can, argue for the one or the other side. I'm not really sure. It's more comfortable than expected. That was also another positive finding. So this car has a lot of surprises in both positive and negative directions. So it's one of the most interesting cars on the market for sure. And of course, one of the most spectacular ones, even if it's already about 10 years old. Thank you very much for watching Autogefühl for this insight. And then leave us your comments again to this car and also tune in to our next full review.